welcome to Little Decisions. I'm your host, Victoria Cooper. Today's episode is called Learn to Apologize. And I need to start with an apology of my own to you, the listener. You see, I've been trying to be the host that I thought people wanted instead of being who I am. I tried to address this some in the last episode, but I'm apologizing because I think I still missed the mark. I apologize for trying to be someone I'm not. I'm sorry for pretending. You see, I'm quirky, I have ill-timed humor, often inappropriate comments, and I worried that wouldn't go over on a podcast. At least not go over well. But I'm tired of washing myself out to produce something that I don't even like sometimes. So, I'm sorry. How I behaved was wrong. Do you believe me? Well, I hope so. My apology was genuine. And that's one important aspect of a true apology. Authenticity. To be kind is to admit when you are wrong. Sooner rather than later. But we can talk more about that in a minute. Before we get going today, I wanted to take some time to do some housekeeping. I also know that if I spend these few minutes trying out my real voice, I may hit my stride as we really get moving through today's show. So, what's going on the podcast? Besides this host's not even mid-season crisis. It's kind of like a life crisis, but for a podcast. You get it. Well, this podcast is now on Apple and Google Podcasts. You can get it basically wherever you get your podcasts. This makes me feel legit, guys. I've met some superficial but necessary milestone. If you are now impressed with the growing popularity of this show and want to consider being a guest on the podcast, please go to littledecisionspodcast.com and click Contact Us to reach out. Or simply email us directly at littledecisionspodcast@gmail.com. Fun, right? The blog. What about the blog? Well, the blog's coming along nicely. I fully admit I have more ideas than actual posts at this point, but the ideas I have are great. I did put one up today called That's So Retro. I think you'll like it. I'm doing a blog not to spread myself too thin, but to supplement the work I present on here. I want the blog to be where you read more about what I was thinking and why I said what I said. That's also kind of the purpose of War Room Diaries. That's the vlog series on YouTube. That's for behind the scenes stuff. And I'm kind of hoping that all of these things combined make me Captain Planet. Wait, no, that's not right. Not Captain Planet. No. No, I'm hoping that all of these make for an experience with this podcast, unlike anything else that's out there. Because that's what I really want. I want something different. I want you to experience kindness where you can just turn this on and that's what you get. Because with the news, you never know exactly what you'll get, but you know it's not going to be great. Not often. So sometimes we're surprised with that greatness. Sometimes it's a really kind story, but often it's just tragedy and sadness. And I'm not saying those things aren't out there, but they're not here. So let's move on to question of the week. Because it's my podcast and I'll do what I want to. So I'm going to discuss the question of the week this week, and I had 3 true-false questions. For the first time ever, the online responses outnumbered market responses. And y'all, it was by a lot. It was about 8-1. I had a total of 37 responses, and I'm very excited about that. Special thanks to Balanji for his support in sharing the online survey for me. So what were the questions for question of the week? Well, I'm going to read all 3 so you can play along with us for those listeners at home. All right, are you ready? These are true, false. You know what to do. Number 1, true or false? An apology is an opportunity to be your best self when you weren't before. I'll read it again. True or false? An apology is an opportunity to be your best self when you weren't before. Number 2. True or false? An apology should focus on the offending behaviors, not the other person's response. True or false? An apology should focus on the offending behaviors, not the other person's response. And number 3, true or false? There are rules to apologizing. True or false? There are rules to apologizing. Now, for those of you playing at home, there are no set answers. These are just what respondees gave me. And I like to ask questions that don't really have answers because it gets people thinking. And it also drives people a little bit crazy. So I'm sorry about that. But here we go. So for number 1, which is an apology is an opportunity to be your best self when you weren't before. Overwhelming responses were that is true. So most of you believe that it is true that an apology is an opportunity to be your best self when you weren't before. And that is also how I voted for that one. For number 2, an apology should focus on the offending behaviors, not the other person's response. Again, similar numbers, overwhelming. It was 32-5 that this is true. It is true. Most of you believe that an apology should focus on the offending behaviors, not the other person's response. And for number 3, there are rules to apologizing. This was almost split completely evenly. It was 20-17. So some of you believe there are rules to apologizing, some of you believe there are not. I am going to take the line that there are some rules to apologizing, but these are just general guidelines. I actually like thinking of them as there are ingredients to an apology, but we'll get to that in a minute. I mentioned earlier the importance of authenticity when it comes to apologizing. Is that how you learn to apologize? For me, I discovered the power found in learning to apologize while I was a substance abuse counselor. In a room full of admitted liars, how do you offer a genuine apology? I had some really powerful conversations about that very subject. You see, an apology is more than the words it's made of. It represents humility, integrity, growth, and grace. An apology allows for accountability and, when necessary, restitution. I firmly believe an apology is a chance to be your better self, especially since maybe you weren't before. Giving an apology is a chance at bravery and a step towards vulnerability. Being willing to be uncomfortable allows for genuine growth. Acknowledging and accepting our role in a sticky situation also feels essential in learning to apologize. So, let's learn about a true apology. To this, I refer to the 9 essential ingredients of a true apology from To this, I refer to the 9 essential ingredients of a true apology by Dr. Harriet Lerner. She is the author of the book, Why Won't You Apologize? I first encountered this recipe for apologizing on the Unlocking Us podcast with Brene Brown. So, what are the 9 essential ingredients to a true apology? And keep in mind, these will be in the show notes, so you don't have to write them down. Number 1, a true apology does not include the word but. Why? Well, buts are excuses, criticisms, or justifications. And it doesn't matter if the but is true. And worst of all, using but will negate everything you said before it. And it usually results in the other person preparing a defense. And that's not what we want with a true apology. We don't want people defending themselves like that. So, no buts. Maybe some coconuts. All right, number 2. A true apology keeps the focus on your actions and not the other person's response. Sound familiar? All right, so this is about accountability. This is what, if I am the person apologizing, this is what I did wrong. And I need to be clear and keep it simple. I don't need to say, I'm sorry you were offended, or I'm sorry you felt that way. I can instead say, I'm sorry I ate your cat. Right? I mean, I would be sorry if I ate a cat. Number 3, A true apology includes an offer of restoration or restitution that fits the situation. Okay? So that's taking responsibility. And this is where the change happens, right? If I damage or destroy something of value that can be restored, I have an obligation there. And this doesn't always have to be immediate, and it doesn't have to be big. But to really have integrity and humility, you have to do what you say you're going to do. So you have to change. You have to make restitution. And I feel like that's an important part of maintaining healthy relationships with other people. Number 4, a true apology does not overdo. Now, you know what I mean by overdo, right? So let's say that I am apologizing for taking a coworker's lunch. And okay, so here we go. Here's the apology. Oh my God, Sarah, I am so sorry I took your lunch. I cannot believe that I did that. You know what? I'm going to go submit my resignation right now because that is just completely unacceptable that I took your lunch on Tuesday. Just unacceptable. Right? That's an overdone apology. Like, no one needs to resign over taking a coworker's lunch unless you've done it like 50 times. And in that case, you probably are doing other things too that you need to resign over. But that's neither here nor there. So, well, and sometimes people apologize for everything and anything, like breathing or being a working mom. I hate when people apologize for things they don't need to apologize for. An apology should match the action. Also, when you overdo it, you hijack the other person's pain and they end up comforting you. And that's not a real apology. Number 5, a true apology doesn't get caught up in who's more to blame or who started it. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like that one. So let me read it again. Number 5, a true apology doesn't get caught up in who's more to blame or who started it. You apologize for your part, even if the other person can't see theirs. And here, this is key, guys. You can't wait for the other person to change or apologize first. 2 wrongs do not make a right. This is where we're kind to other people. I've had to accept that there are some apologies that will never come. But if I owed one, I did my best to give it. That's just how this works. All right, number 6. A true apology requires that you do your best to avoid a repeat performance. So this is where you have integrity. This is where you do what you say you're going to do. So if you really are sorry for doing something repeatedly, like say taking a coworker's lunch, you don't keep taking their lunch. I mean, it's okay if it happens maybe once more, but at that point you're just being careless, and that's unacceptable. And that also means that your word doesn't have any value. And we don't want that. So, number 7, a true apology should not serve to silence. So you don't apologize to get out of a conversation. You don't want to say something like, I've apologized, so let it go. An apology is also not the chance for you to get the last word in. I really struggle with that one. Number 8, a true apology shouldn't be offered to make you feel better if it risks making the hurt party feel worse. So in that case, you've got to consider your intention and motivation for making the apology, because all apologies are not welcome. I think here it's about doing the right thing and knowing when it's appropriate to apologize and when it's just time to move on. And number 9, a true apology does not ask the hurt party to do anything, not even to forgive. Oh, it's that last part, right? I'll read it again. Number 9, a true apology does not ask the hurt party to do anything, not even to forgive. There are no expectations from them, even if you feel they owe you an apology too, because your apology isn't a bargaining tool. It's about giving, not getting. And in truth, a good apology isn't the end to the conversation, but rather it smooths things over and allows for more conversations. And I think that's Powerful. That's important. So those are the 9 ingredients to a true apology. Up next, do you remember? What is the first Olympics you remember? At the Marigold Market this weekend, I was part of a conversation about this very question. Let's have a listen.
That's the one I distinctly remember.
96, 92, 88.
The year that the Dream Team, they put the first professional basketball players in the Olympics. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, all those guys played. Yeah.
Well, for me, I said distinctly the 96 Olympics.
Because of Atlanta.
Right.
Well, yeah, I remember that because of the bombing. But I remember the Los Angeles Olympics because they were in Los Angeles, of course. I remember those Olympics. I remember the scandal about Ben Johnson and the steroids, the guy from Canada, and Flojo in the Olympics and the long hair and the fingernails and the cool running suits that she had.
Here are some facts about the 1996 Olympics. It began on Friday, July 19th and ended on Sunday, August 4th. The United States of America won an overall medal count with a total of 101 medals. The next closest country was Germany with 65. The official motto of that Olympics was the celebration of the century. And I don't know if you remember this, guys, but the official mascot was that little blue gnat-looking thing. His name was Izzy, and he was a blue, oversized-looking gnat with big white eyes and lightning-shaped eyebrows. He even had his own video game. And Muhammad Ali did light the cauldron, as you heard. And that's Do You Remember? Up next, I have Random Acts of Kindness. So to kick off this brand new segment, I interviewed someone I connected with through social media recently. Let's have a listen to my phone call with Caleb in Utah.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Sweet. Okay, good. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I was so excited.
Of course. Happy to.
Yeah, sweet. I guess we'll kind of start with, if you don't mind, just introducing yourself to say your whole name. Yeah, if you'll just introduce yourself and kind of say why I had reached out to you.
My name's Caleb Smith. I'm from Utah. I guess we met because I posted in a Facebook group just a pineapple outfit I had bought because I like to give away pineapples, so I thought it'd match.
I actually have that same outfit, just the female version, so that's pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
That's what originally caught my eye, was I was like, oh my gosh, I have that outfit. So what made you pick a pineapple? Why did you decide to start giving that away?
Well, one of my friends, he just decided to give people pineapples on their birthday. And at the time, my friends and I wanted to start a YouTube channel, I guess. And so we were looking for something to do. And then my friend did that, and we thought it was kind of funny. And so we just bought a ton of pineapples and gave them away. And the funny part is we didn't even end up uploading the video. So we just kept giving them away for fun because we just enjoyed people's reactions and making people happy. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, people really enjoy, I think, getting a pineapple. It's a pretty cool gift.
Yeah, it's one of those random things that you're not expecting at all, but then just makes you happy. I mean, people think I'm weird for it, but they still are happy about it.
Yeah, no, I love it. Oh my gosh, if someone gave me a pineapple, I'd be so excited. My podcast is about kindness. So do you think that what you're doing is kind of a random act of kindness for people?
So I guess that's the main goal of it, is to make people happy, and I think making people happy is an act of kindness. So sure, yeah.
What made you join that pineapple group?
Well, I don't know. I just like pineapples now. I turned every shirt I own to be a pineapple themed shirt, and then I give away pineapples. I just kind of turned it into my thing, I guess. So I was maybe other people like pineapples too, and then I just stumbled across it, so I joined it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. How many pineapples do you think you've given away in total?
I know for a fact I've given away 500 at least, but I think it's around 520.
I was like, hey, I haven't mentioned you on the podcast, and I owe you an apology for that. So I have a segment this week called What You Doing? Because I call you all the time going, what you doing? Like, I don't know if you've noticed.
This next segment is entitled, What You Doing? What You Doing is a segment inspired by the thousands upon thousands of times I've asked my sister Elizabeth, what you doing?
What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Oh, God. I do, but I do it every time. What you doing?
So, what am I doing? Well, I just finished reading Anxious People. It's an amazing book, and I feel so inspired to write a blog piece about it solely from the quotes of the book. I'm hoping that's going to be fun. I'm trying to be more mindful, so I'm practicing some mindfulness. And what I've been doing with that is when I have 30 seconds to a minute, I'll try just counting my breaths. Or I'll ground myself by standing still in a room I'm in a lot, like say the kitchen, and I'll try to look for 3 distinct things that I haven't noticed before. And that's a really good grounding technique, and it really helps me be present and in the moment. I'm also obsessing over the podcast Park Predators, which has a lot of cases based in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Oddly enough, my birthday is September 1st, and a lot of things happen around September in national parks. It's kind of scary. I know where I won't be spending my birthday. And as for what's next, I have the segment coming soon. I have lots of interviews set up. Lots and lots of interviews. I'm super excited. I have an interview with Jack, who has a labyrinth in his backyard. I have an interview with Caitlin about being true to yourself, especially as a parent. You just heard the interview with Caleb. I have so many interviews going on. I'm so excited. Also, I wanted to remind everyone that I'm at the Marigold Market every Saturday, and I'm going to be starting vendor interviews in August, and I'm super excited. I really appreciate everyone being here today, and I hope you found the episode a little bit more like me. I don't know. It was just a couple of little decisions I made today. Pineapple with care, guys.